I, when I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. These are the words of Lao Tzu, the ancient Chinese philosopher and founder of Taoism. At first glance, the quote is short, simple, almost vague. But sit with it for a moment, and it begins to unravel layers of meaning. Layers that challenge how we see ourselves, how we cling to identity, and how we fear the unknown. This quote doesn't just ask us to let go, it dares us to surrender what we think is essential. To let go of what I am sounds like an act of destruction, almost betrayal. After all, we spend so much of our lives trying to define ourselves, our career, our status, our beliefs, our stories. From childhood we gather labels: good student, bad student, shy, smart, creative, lazy, successful, failure. And we build around them like a shell. But what happens when that shell becomes a prison? What if the idea of who we are is the very thing holding us back from becoming who we could be? Lao Tzu's wisdom is rooted in the Taoist principle of flow, of aligning with the natural rhythm of life rather than forcing it. In Taoism, the ego is seen as the obstacle, the illusion that keeps us from living authentically. And so letting go of what I am is not nihilism, it's liberation. It's not about losing ourselves in the void, but opening ourselves to what lies beyond the ego's limits. Hey, think about the times in your life when change was necessary but terrifying. When you had to leave a job, end a relationship, or step into the unknown. Chances are you hesitated. Maybe you told yourself, "This is who I am. I am not the kind of person who does that. I can't change." That's the identity talking, the image we've constructed. But Lao Tzu reminds us that image isn't fixed. It's not fate. It's habit. And when we release it, even briefly, we allow transformation to occur. Imagine a tree clinging to its leaves in winter, refusing to shed them. It would never survive the season. The leaves must fall for spring to come. Nature knows this. But we often forget that letting go is part of growth. We view it as loss rather than preparation. So we cling to titles, to patterns, to versions of ourselves that no longer serve us. We say, "This is just how I am," but that isn't truth. It's fear disguised as identity. Lao Tzu invites us to consider a different possibility, that our potential lies not in what we hold on to, but in what we're willing to release. That becoming is not about adding more layers to ourselves, but peeling them away. And that only when we empty the cup of self can it be filled with something new. This quote is especially powerful in a world obsessed with personal branding and fixed narratives. Social media encourages us to curate a self-image, to say, "This is me, this is what I stand for, this is my lane," and we trap ourselves in those narratives. But the truth is, people change, values shift, passions fade, new ones emerge, and that's not failure, it's evolution. Letting go doesn't mean we lose everything. It means we stop resisting what's already changing. It's a surrender to flow. The river doesn't cling to the bend it just passed, it moves forward, carving a new path. Likewise, we must allow life to shape us. We must release who we were to meet who we're becoming. This doesn't have to be dramatic, it can be as subtle as changing the way we think. Letting go of needing to always be right, letting go of an old story that says we're not good enough. Letting go of the belief that vulnerability is weakness. Each release is a small revolution, a soft rebellion against the false self. And from that surrender, something extraordinary happens. We create space. Space for growth, for awareness, for possibility, space for mystery. Because the truth is, we don't fully know who we might be. Our identities are guesses based on the past, but our potential that belongs to the unknown. This idea echoes through spiritual traditions across the world. In Buddhism, there is the concept of no self, the idea that clinging to a fixed identity causes suffering. In Christianity, Jesus speaks of dying to the self to find true life. In Hindu philosophy, the ego is seen as Maya, illusion, and in Taoism, the self that we insist on preserving is the very thing separating us from the Tao, the way. So what does this mean for us in practical terms? It means embracing change. It means having the courage to evolve. It means questioning the inner voice that says, "You can't." just because you haven't yet. It means forgiving yourself for not being who you once thought you'd become. And most importantly, it means making peace with the idea that you are not a finished product. What you are today is not all you are. You are a process, not a portrait, a verb, not a noun. When we let go of what we are, we give ourselves permission to unfold. We become students again, beginners, open to wonder, open to pain, open to life. This doesn't mean living without intention. It means holding our identity lightly, not gripping it like armor. It means recognizing that strength is not found in stubbornness, but in flexibility. The oak tree breaks in the storm, the reed bends and survives. There's a humility in this way of living, a quiet acceptance that we are not in control of everything. But rather than see that as a limitation, Lao Tzu saw it as freedom. When we stop trying to force our identity, we begin to live in harmony with what is. We listen, we adapt, we respond, we move with the current, not against it. And what might we become? That's the beautiful mystery. We may become more compassionate, more patient, more creative. We may discover talents or paths we never imagined. We may love deeper, live fuller, and we may finally understand that becoming is not a destination, it's a way of being. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. It's not just a quote, it's a doorway, a challenge, a whisper from the past urging us to soften, to surrender, to trust, not in a future version of ourselves, but in the unfolding moment that is happening now. So take a breath, look at the story you've been telling yourself, ask, what am I clinging to that no longer serves me? What identity have I outgrown? And what might happen if I gently, fearlessly let it go? Because who you might be is not a shadow, it's a light waiting to be uncovered, not through effort, but through release, not through striving, but through surrender. Let go, become,